Welcome to Section 3 of the Lean Enterprise Corporate Innovation Certification. In this section, author Trevor Owens explains why disruptive innovation is so foreign to the type of business practices corporations are used to. By the end of this section, you'll have a new understanding of how disruptive innovations can come to life and why startups are fundamentally different from established businesses.
This is the new way that the smartest enterprises are seeing the potential for disruptive innovation. And now that I've showed you kind of the difference here, let's dive into what disruptive innovation actually looks like. So this is a graph called the startup curve. And remember, startups innovate disruptively. It's from Paul Graham, who's the founder of Y Combinator, a well-known Silicon Valley incubator. And he says, every successful startup follows this pattern. Before you start, your happiness, we have happiness on the x-axis and time on the y-axis. Before you start, your happiness is just average. You're how you are every day, right? But when we decide to get started on day one, we are so excited. This is the greatest thing ever. We're setting out on our dream, to accomplish our dream. Inevitably, though, what happens on day two? Reality sets in, and all startups enter what we call the trough of sorrow, right? This is where life isn't very good, right? It's really tough, and you don't know if the activities and the energies and the efforts you're putting forth are going to lead you to the dream you set out for yourself. You may be making progress, but it looks like you're going in circles. It requires a lot of persistence, flexibility, experimenting, and pivoting. And most startups fail here. They don't fail because they couldn't build the technology. They don't fail because they're working on time travel. It's a really hard technical problem. Most startups are working on software applications, mobile applications, web applications, where the technology is not that complicated. They fail because they actually can't find something that people want. And so this, of course, happens without corporate politics, without corporate bureaucracy. We'll talk about that later, how that adds to this effect. But very few companies make it to the point where something starts working, and even fewer make it to what we call the promised land of product market fit. You found something that people want, you've honed that idea to the right form factor, and you can scale the business. And in fact, you look like an overnight success. But every successful company, new company, goes through the trough of sorrow, 2 years in the trough of sorrow, to become an overnight success. Now, in a large company, this is how business is done, right? You're not searching for something people want. We already know what people want. We have a long operating history. It's just about executing upon that. Whereas in disruptive innovation, as I said, it's just fundamentally different. It couldn't be, it's the opposite for the most part. And so in this type of work, we need fundamentally different methods for how we do business. And we need new tools as well. So this was a quote from Andy Jassy at his recent keynote, and I really liked it because he said, when it comes to business transformation, a lower cost structure is an enabler, but the main driver is agility. You know, I've met with a lot of executives talking about disruptive innovation and these things, and I say, hey, how would you like to be 100 times faster? And many executives in the old way of thinking will just look at you like, why would I want that? Right? We're slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. But when you frame it in terms of this new form of work and this new capacity, they finally start to get the importance of speed. Because if you take money away from a startup, they're not going to like you, but it's not going to kill them, right? The way you kill a startup is by slowing them down, right? So seeing how different this process is really makes it clear the value of agility.